Well, hey everybody, it's Outland. How's it going? And I have a very special guest on to this show. He needs no introduction. I'm sure you guys have seen this awesome guy. He has a fantastic channel. He's been he hiked the AT. I mean, he's done it all, and he's just an all-around awesome guy. And I am so glad to finally have him on the channel. I have Frozen from Outdoor Adventures with me. Hey, Frozen.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, dude.
How you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there, trying to get through this month, and then maybe get outside. That's the plan here. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'll get to that here soon. So, do you have any good drinks on you tonight?
I am partaking in a delirium.
Oh, good.
Actually,
your favorite beer.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I actually just got done with another podcast. Everybody's having me on for podcasts, and you know me, I'm always about talking about backpacking. Anyone who wants to come on. So
awesome. Well, you're good at it. You just kind of naturally have that flow.
Thanks, man.
Well, I got a good one too. This one's called I Hate Mondays. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing it's Tuesday. It's a New England IPA.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I wish I liked IPAs because there's so many out there, but my body just likes Belgian wheat or really heavy alcohol content beers. I don't know what it is.
I used to hate IPAs, and then one day I just decided I liked them. So
maybe I'll just force myself to switch over and see how it goes. Maybe it's just an acquired taste for me.
Yeah, it might just be an acquired thing. Like once you find one that you really like,
yeah,
then you start looking for that style.
Yeah, I hear you.
So you said you've been just hanging out. How have you been dealing with the quarantine and stuff, man?
I'm actually good. You know, I'm a little bit introverted, hence the beer when I come on to these podcasts. Kind of loosens me up just the right amount, you know. But you know, I'm working from home now with the new job. I got already promoted to a supervisor role, so can't complain. It's just It's a lot of work, and I'm used to working at home, so not a lot of stuff has changed. I'm trying to get everybody else to be comfortable working from home now, being in the IT field. So
yeah, it's a weird, man. I think you and I are pretty much, you know, we're both in IT, so you know, we're used to kind of a certain way of doing things, and then it's like well, you know, just like for anyone, everything's just kind of upside down.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about working from home for me was teaching my stepson kindergarten. I struggled with that so much because it was like half of my day, 4 hours of my day was spent trying to figure out his stuff, the Common Core math and all that crap that wasn't around. You know, it's crazy what they have to do in kindergarten now.
Right? Yeah,
I was struggling to stay in the lines when I was in kindergarten, you know. Jeez.
Well, my kids are in 5th grade, man, and it's like, what the crap? I don't remember learning this stuff in 5th grade.
Right? Yeah.
You know? And then I feel stupid. Like, okay, I shouldn't even have a job at this point. Like, I don't know this math.
Right? Yeah, we're supposed to be good at it in IT, right?
Right. I don't know. That's why I let the computer do it all for me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So well, you know, so like the rest of us, though, have you been able to get out at all, or have you just been trapped inside?
I had a trip planned for April, and then we were obviously hit by the pandemic. And then right after that, right after I was able to get outside again, a work project hit that it needed my full attention. So, and it's on weekends, you know, I can't really plan anything right now, but I have my PTO got approved today by my boss, and I'm heading to Shawnee National State Forest. Nice. Around your area, right? It's around your area, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you going to the one in Ohio or the one in Illinois?
Ohio. Yeah. Ohio. I was trying for a quick trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's like 36 miles or some loop.
Oh yeah, man.
Bryce,
you will be very close to me, actually.
Yeah. Bryce just did it. A couple months ago. You had him on. That was your last guest, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bryce. Yeah, he is. Yeah. It's about a 2-hour drive south for me. Yeah.
It's 4.5 for me. So
not bad.
Get in and out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited.
Nice. I haven't backpacked Shawnee, but I've done the day hike loop, and it was pretty brutal.
Is that the southern or the northern loop? Because Bryce hated the northern loop.
This one I think is like in the middle of the two. It's like the 7-mile day hike loop. Okay. So you got him a taste of both.
Gotcha.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember that was the very first video I ever saw of David Gray. Was his Shawnee video.
I'm starting to get really into him now. Yeah. Show Brothers got me kind of addicted. Yeah.
I told David, I said, man, that's your first video I ever watched of you, and all you did was complain about Shawnee. He's like, I know, that was a horrible trip. It's funny.
Hopefully that's not in my future, but yeah.
No. Just got to be prepared for that place, yeah. But you've done much harder than that, which we'll get to.
I'm hoping. Hoping.
That's
Okay.
cool, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
So, I ask this of all my guests that I bring on for these things, man. So tell us how you got into hiking, camping, backpacking, all that stuff.
Sure. So back when me and my brother were kids, we were little, we always used to go out, behind the house, search around, find stuff. The area that we lived in, my parents' house, wasn't super developed. Now it doesn't even exist anymore. But that kind of planted the seed. And then like 6, 7 years ago, my buddy Josh, he was an Eagle Scout. He invited me out on my first backpacking trip. It was a polar vortex. It was 0 degrees. It was probably not the smartest decision I've ever made to go out with there, but I fell in love with it. I loved it ever since that trip.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think you and I have talked about this before. Like being in IT, there's something about something so opposite of doing IT. Like going outside,
Yes,
it's just so different from what you do every day, which is
for
so awesome.
sure.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
that's
just
awesome.
unplugging. Just
Hmm.
nope. Turning my phone off, airplane mode. Leave me alone. I'll get to your issue when I get back home. I feel like we're always. I don't know about you, but are you kind of like always on call as well? Like you're the
Yeah,
go-to guy? Yeah.
yeah,
I think it's hard to explain the stress in this field. I think this is a big stressful field, and so we value those trips just 100%. We look forward to them all the time.
yeah. And like you, I have to schedule way in advance.
Right.
When I want to do a trip, I can't just do a spontaneous. Hey, I'm leaving for
Right.
4 days.
Yep. Not
It's
gonna
good,
fly.
because usually we're doing projects. We plan things out several months ahead. It's like, okay, Saturday night at 6 p.m. we're going to do this, or worse, like 10 p.m. or 3 a.m. So you know
Yep.
how it is.
Yep.
Uh,
Exactly, man.
yeah, so it's cool to be able to get out. And I'm actually getting out next week myself. So
Cool. Where are you going?
I am going to Spruce Knob in West Virginia
Very cool.
and
Very cool.
Seneca Creek. Yeah,
Yeah, Seneca Creek.
yeah.
That's
So
on my folder over here of list places to places to go. People have recommended it.
I've been wanting to do that for years, and everyone said, you got to do it. And everybody I've tried to get to go with me has bailed on me, and I'm just like, whatever, I'm going.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but it's gonna be fun. I cannot
Yeah,
wait.
well,
Yeah. So, where are some of your favorite destinations to go hiking?
I absolutely love the Smokies. I wish I could get down there this weekend, but we're gonna get this work project done. But I've been to the Smokies, well, I guess 3 times now, and I didn't necessarily like the last time I was there just because of the AT. You have to stay in the shelters there. It's a little crammed, but lots of snoring going on. But just there's something about the Smokies, especially the lower underneath the mountain areas, just the
Hmm.
streams and the real packed in forest, the big trees. They get me. I love
Yeah,
those kind of areas. They're
it's a
beautiful.
gorgeous place.
Hmm.
And I have not backpacked the Smokies, but I've day hiked. I hiked the top of Mount LeConte, which was
Yeah.
a good day hike, and that was fun.
Oh, you got a backpack there, man. It's amazing. The sites, even the camping sites there are amazing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so, is it really packed all the time, or can you get some seclusion?
I'm sure I try to never go down there on a weekend. Okay, I try to do that for all my trips, but I'm not going to be able to do that anymore.
Hmm.
Not with the job anymore, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
yeah, I have never seen it too packed where it was like, on the annoying side. It's always been people are spread out enough, and it
Good.
seems really fun.
Yeah, I have to get down there because I'm trying to broaden my horizons, and because I keep going to the same places, and it gets kind of old after a while. Red River Gorge is. I've done it so many times. I love the
It's
place,
right there. Yeah, I get
but
you.
it's so close. It's
Yeah.
2.5 hours, so it's an easy drive, and it's a big payoff.
Oh
So
yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah. But I'd like to do actually more up in your area, like Pennsylvania, because I didn't realize how much cool stuff there is in Pennsylvania. Um,
Well, I know you were at Oil Creek a couple times. Did you
yeah,
end up doing the loop in any of those trips? The whole loop?
the first one I did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
This,
a that's a great area.
yeah, it's amazing, and those shelters are just fantastic.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I've been researching some other things up there in your area, like what is it, the PA Grand Canyon
that's a
and
good one. Yeah,
Loyal Sock. Is that the one in
Loyal
Pennsylvania?
Sock.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more east of me, but yeah, that's about 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours away from me.
Okay, so it's on
But
the
yeah,
eastern
yeah,
edge.
that's on the bucket list for this year too.
Is it?
Yeah. Maybe when you go, let me know.
Yeah,
We'll
man.
plan something, man. I'm
I would
down.
love to. Yeah, you know, I had so many things planned for this year that just
I
went
did
out the
too.
window.
I did too. Yeah.
This whole COVID thing, you know, I feel so bad for the people who had big hikes, you know, especially the thru hikers. I can't even imagine having an AT, you know, planning for like years to do an AT hike, and then this happened to them.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
I
think a lot of people even understand the what it took for them to go back home.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough. Mm-hmm.
So, so you did the entire AT, man. How long did it take you to plan for that and get ready for that?
Yeah, I started saving about 2 years prior to leaving the trail. I'd opened a small savings account and tried to put, $100, $50, anything that I could that was extra in that account, let it get some interest. And I didn't touch it for 2 years, and it paid off. Luckily, being the YouTuber, the whole hike gained a decent bit of popularity, and I was at the point. Granted, I don't recommend anyone try to through hike and vlog at the same time, because it is a full-time job for sure.
Yeah,
But it was actually almost paying for all my expenses back at home with my wife's supplemental income
that's
as well.
awesome.
So, but yeah, as far as planning stages, I planned out the first, I think, 130 miles, and then after that, it was just per resupply point.
Hmm.
And that's kind of what you got to do. Any plans that you make before the trail, if they're out too far, they ain't gonna work out. You might as
Right.
well just throw it in the garbage.
Yeah.
It's gonna be different.
And yeah, I was amazed because you're one of the few people that I know who did the whole trail with the hammock, pretty much whole thing with the hammock,
Yep.
Which really inspired me because I don't want to tent camp. If I decide to do this, which I'm planning on, my plan is to do the AT here in a few more years,
Good.
and I'm trying to prepare for it. And I don't want to camp in a tent. It's
You don't
bad
have to.
to have
You
to,
don't have to.
if I have to do the shelters, but that was very encouraging that you did the whole thing in your hammock.
Yeah. All you gotta do is get through the Smokies, man. After that, there's really no places you're gonna have issues.
Pretty much camp wherever you need to with the hammock, huh?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome. That's good to
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Yeah, my plan is my boys are 11 now, so when they turn 18, 7 more years,
Okay.
gonna try to do the AT.
What age does that put you, if you don't mind me asking?
52.
52. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep your legs limber and your joints happy, and yeah, you should be good, man.
Yeah,
Enjoy it.
man, it's
It's gonna
just,
be great.
and I've been trying to keep us, keep fit, but
Yeah.
it's hard.
I'm horrible during this pandemic. I'm now getting out running a little bit, which I've always had shin splints, so I'm up to like 3 miles.
Nice.
Which is good, because that's where I usually get shin splints, and it's not happening. So I'm hoping that
There
the
you
AT
go.
might have fixed that for me as well.
So the running gave you shin splints, but hiking wasn't quite as bad.
Terrible
Yeah.
shin splints. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to get those really bad, and then I just started a couple years back. I started running because I wanted to do some half marathons and stuff, and I was like, I'm doing this, and so I did a few half marathons, but the last one I did was 2018, and I didn't do any last year, and nothing this year. So
I hear you.
it's tough. It's especially with the kind of jobs that we have sitting
Yes,
down.
for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. But working from home, I will have to say, it's funny though too, because people say, working from home, you've got all this time now to do all these things, and I'm like, well, not really. In fact, I work more now from home than I
Right.
did probably in the office.
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't take breaks. Sometimes I don't take a lunch. Uh, it's and I think my boss is finally realizing, he's like, wow, a lot more stuff is getting done with people at home all the time. I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense. No, it makes sense.
It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. And look how much money you're saving.
Yeah. I mean, the insurance alone, not having a certain number of people in an office building too.
Right. And the utilities and everything. It's crazy.
Right. All the supplies, the coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. So, So when you trained for the AT, though, you were doing what was it? Insanity? Is that what the routine you were
Yeah,
doing?
yeah, the Beachbody program, Insanity.
Yeah.
Yep. But you know, the 3 months leading up to it, I had injured myself, and I wasn't even able to do that. So I kind of
Mm.
went in cold.
Mm.
I just kept the mileage low, and thankfully it ended up working out. I was really worried.
Now I remember I watched all your vlogs,
Thanks, man.
but I'm trying to remember when you hit if you hit some low points. I can't remember honestly, but did you ever hit a point on the trail where you were just like, I don't know about this? Like,
There,
I'm
there was
sure everybody did.
never. Oh yeah, I mean it's a fact. You're gonna hit a low point out there no matter what you do.
Yeah.
There was never a time that I was like, why am I doing this? If that makes any sense. There was a point up in New Hampshire that I started to get a little worried that I wasn't gonna finish, and at
Mm.
that point, if you don't finish, you're gonna just beat yourself up badly because you're you're almost there.
Oh
It
yeah,
was New Hampshire and Maine were very very technical and very very difficult, and
especially
my
coming that
knees,
far.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the knees after the whites they weren't doing very well at
Mm.
all.
So you think if people got back on the trail now, well, I guess it depends on where they got off, but if they were to get on back now, they could still do it this year?
Yeah, I think they'll probably extend the Baxter Park. Why can't Baxter Park? That doesn't even sound right. Baxter State Park, yeah.
Hmm.
That closes I think in October. But yeah, my dude Wild on the trail is he went back. The other two people that I was kind of mainly following, they decided to just hold it off a year, and I can't even imagine what it's going to be like in 2021. You're going to have the 2020 thru-hikers that didn't finish, and then the 2021 thru-hikers that were scheduled.
Oh
It's going to be
man,
overcrowded. I bet they go to some kind of permit system at that point.
they're probably going to have to.
Um,
Yeah.
but if you're hiking 12 or more miles a day, I'm pretty sure you'll make it by October.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep at it and not get sucked into the vortexes. Mhm.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're limiting people in the trail towns, because that was a big thing that they were, telling them not to come into the towns because of COVID and all that. So I
Yeah,
guess all that stopped. I think down south of us is a little bit more lax from what I
bit
hear.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
'Cause
gotta go ahead.
well, I have family in Tennessee, and they're like, we haven't been shut down for weeks. We're like, we're just now opening up certain things, and they're like, it's nothing like this in Tennessee. But okay,
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
yeah. But then I know there's some spikes down in like South Carolina and places like that. So
Yeah. Florida too, isn't it?
yeah,
Florida's bad
Florida.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a shame
it's a shame, man. This whole thing it's thrown everybody for a loop for
for
sure.
sure. Yeah. Well, you got to realize too that these trail towns, they have like less than 100 people.
Yeah.
These aren't big Walmart infested towns. These are just local people selling groceries. If you
Right.
infect one of them, that whole town's basically destroyed.
Exactly. Yeah.
It sucks.
And then
So,
you got all these people, these city slickers coming in
hmm
on on
yeah,
the trail. Yeah.
yeah,
So when you vlogged your hike, man, that you did all that on your phone, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All in the Pixel 3. Yeah,
Man, that's tough because I know how being a YouTuber, I know how tough it is to film and hike and try to have some semblance of a put together type of video. And so, man, kudos to you for that, man. I'll
thank
tell
you.
you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was definitely some work. Definitely some late nights. I tried to get the editing done for that particular day before I slept, or else I would just end up getting behind.
So you edited everything on the phone and just uploaded it straight from wherever you got
Yep.
service?
Yeah, mostly the trail towns. I would try to do it over Wi-Fi just because there wasn't a lot of 4G on the
Yeah.
trail itself. Some places, but it was just easier in towns.
That's so cool that that's a possibility now, just to be able to
Oh
see
yeah,
somebody's full experience, as opposed to, just a few years ago, like, people would have to write journals or books after the fact and tell their stories.
right.
Now you're telling it in real time, how
Yeah,
you're experiencing, it's pouring down rain on me. It's
hmm
just, it's awesome.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty
So,
neat.
so how did you get into, I ask everybody this too, how did you get into YouTubing to begin with?
That's a really good question. I don't really know. I think a lot of us got inspired by, Syntax and Shug Emery and who's it? Luke from the Outdoor Gear Review. He was a big one. And
Yeah.
I was like, man, I could do that. That is so freaking cool to do. Why don't I try it? And then I was like, oh, as an added benefit, I can look back on these trips and just, kind of relive the moments that happened to me. So I just kind of film, what I don't want to do is I don't want to turn it into a job. I was kind of pushing myself recently to get videos out weekly. That's just not me. I'm never going to be one of those people. If I don't talk about a certain topic, it's because I didn't want to talk about it,
Yeah, I did the same thing, man. I was trying to push out videos, and I was like, I'm going to have a set schedule. And I started making all these videos, and I hated them. And they were just crap, and I scrapped them all. And I was like, well, I'd rather put out a good video once a month than a crappy one every week.
And just a top 10 every day.
Yeah. I'd rather try to give people something, But it's tough to come up with topics, especially, when it comes to backpacking, because it's so personal. Mm-hmm. And, everybody has kind of their own way of doing things. And no gear is better than the other. It's just personal preference. So
I can't tell you how many people have asked me what shoes they should buy. And that's the biggest. Like, I can maybe recommend a backpack, but I can't tell you what shoes to buy. I'm the worst person to ask in the entire world.
Right.
It's super personal preference for that thing.
Mm-hmm. So that and clothes and exactly.
For sure. Yeah. Get whatever works. Try it out.
Yeah. So, I've tried to personally, stray away from, you should buy this type of pack or whatever. It's like, just try whatever works for you.
Yeah. I'll tell people about my experiences with it, but I'm not trying to sell anybody on anything.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. And I've tried to make it a little bit more entertainment, like I guess some of my more trip videos, it's like now I'm trying to get artsy and cinematic with them and stuff. It's kind of fun.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first started watching you, and I was like, and then you were commenting on my videos, and I just was like, man, that's so cool that as many subs as Frozen has, he's still commenting on my videos. I really appreciate that, man, because you never acted like you were too big to talk to the little guy, so I just
never be like that. We're just the same IT people getting out on the same backpacking trips.
Right. Yeah. I know some people's kind of heads kind of a little big, it seems like.
I think I know who you're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah. But, it's like you said, it's all about the outdoors, about the experience and the adventure.
Right. For sure. Yep.
So speaking of that, what do you think of all these channels that have sprung up since we first started doing ours? There are a lot of backpacking channels now.
Yeah, they're an incredible amount. I mean, before, I remember 5-6 years ago, you're struggling to find information on a particular loop that you'd like to do on a weekend, and now it's like, okay, well, which person am I picking for this loop? You have options now. Mm-hmm. And I think it's great. I really do. I hope these channels continue, to produce the same quality content as they're doing right now. So as long as everybody's having fun, Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think there's such a thing as too many. I think it is very cool to see all these different perspectives of different people doing these hikes and things like that. I'm like, that's really cool. But like you said, a few years ago, it was really tough to find a channel. And I think that's maybe the reason is, like Syntax, he gained so many subscribers because he did such a good job of these trip videos and things. Like, okay, subscribe, it's like, it's awesome. It's like every time a video comes out, it's like, yep, I got to watch that.
Speaking of him, I think he's actually gotten better this past year with his new stuff. I started to kind of shy away because he was kind of getting out of the backpacking that I like. I mean, obviously that's just me. It's not, my judgment for everyone else, but he's really starting to get into those videos where he's walking you through camp and he's walking you through gear. That's what I like. I love watching that kind of stuff. He just had that wheel sock video that came out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is like old school Syntax again. This is freaking great. So I enjoyed watching that the other day.
I know exactly what you mean. Like, because I had skipped over a few for the exact same reason. And then I went back and I'm like, oh, I got to rewatch these.
Yeah.
These are really cool.
And that's nothing on him. It's just, I didn't prefer the way that, the way he was telling the story or whatever happened, whatever made me lose interest a little bit. But, he got me right back. So
Yeah, and I think
he has a good variety.
yeah, and I think we all kind of go through a progression. At least I did a progression of trying different things, experimenting. Like, okay, does this work, or do I want to do this or that? And some things just don't work.
Right. Like my DSLR, right?
Yeah, so you're not a fan of the Canon M50, are you?
I am not a fan of having all these lenses and these goofy things that I need. And this guy is just heavy, and I don't like carrying this thing on the. I'll take a camcorder when I'm out there. You know what I mean?
See, yeah, this is, well, now you can't see it because of the green screen, but yeah, the giant, the giant rig. It gets the results are awesome, but it's
for
it's
sure.
a lot of work. It's
right.
Especially when you're out on the trail and you've been hiking for miles and miles, and then it's pouring down rain or it's snowing on you, and you're trying to deal with that camera. That's one thing I think people who don't have their own YouTube, who don't shoot video, they don't realize the kind of work that people put into these videos. Everybody who goes out there,
yeah, I agree.
Put a lot of work into it, and then coming home, spending time editing and trying to make a good video, and there's a lot of people who are very quick to judging and criticize, which is unfortunate.
Well, my big thing with the camera is I prefer that M50 for home use, when it's sitting on a tripod and it's filming. It has a great depth of field. It's a really inexpensive for what you get camera. But if it was affecting my hikes a little bit, and that's where I kind of draw the line. I won't have a piece of equipment that will affect my hike adversely. So that's why I'm not going to use that anymore.
Yeah, and then you got to remember, at least for me, it's like it's about the hike first, and the video is really kind of secondary.
Right. Exactly.
I don't hike to film. So
right, me either.
Yeah. But you've put out some really good videos throughout the years, though, man. Your tips on, like, all your hammock tips and things have just been awesome, and definitely helped me out with some things. You're the one, I think, who convinced me to get the mesh. I think you had the mesh snakeskins at one point. I don't know if you still do or not, but
I do. Yeah.
And then roll it up and put that in the outer mesh of the pack, and as a way to kind of keep it, to dry it off when it's wet.
Right.
Man, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Put the tarp.
And I got that way of rolling that tarp up from MacGyver too. It's just like we all kind of help each other evolve our backpacking skills. Mm-hmm. It's a great freaking community. I love that about us.
Yeah, that's what's so awesome. Mm-hmm. And people, it's like YouTube is like the second biggest search engines. It's you go to there and you search for tips on how to do that. Like when I look for something now, like how to do whatever, because I just built this house, it's like, okay, I have no idea how to that X, and I'm searching on YouTube, a video comes up. I'm like, well, there it is. Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So YouTube helped me build this little office down here, so that was great.
Which is very nice, man. Nice.
Thank you.
Video.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
You got that awesome sign back there.
Oh, that guy is so great.
That is amazing.
He was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's really amazing about the this community is the fans that we have. The subscribers. I've made a lot of really good friends through the community.
Yeah.
Some people that I've met either through other YouTubers or people who have watched me and I've ended up hiking with. It's like, man, that right there is worth all of it. It's just amazing.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we can continue those meetups because they're a fantastic little thing too.
Yeah, man, I hope so. I hope we can do a meetup. I don't know about this year.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll have to see. Yeah. So what do you think contributed to the success of your channel? You're up to what, 50,000 followers now? 50,000 subscribers?
It's close. I know. I've been starting to watch it again. I usually just, whatever. I'm not saying that I don't care about how many subscribers I have, but I think we're at around 47 or 48 now.
Nice.
So, the success, I don't know, just putting useful information out there instead of just regurgitated stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what I try. I don't know if I'm succeeding or not, but the numbers are growing, so I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you're really genuine when you do your videos, and I think that comes through really well. It's like, okay, this guy's not BSing me. He's telling me from experience. And
Most of my topics are from actual people's comments too. I get
yeah,
basically nearly all of the ideas for videos from comments.
that's
I think a
awesome.
lot of us do too. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's really a cool thing too, is you interact a lot with your comments from your subscribers and anybody commenting on your videos. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's, and another big thing is I like about your channel is, you're not afraid to show things that happen on the trail.
Yeah. No, I'm not at all.
And I think that's a big thing to show that you're really genuine. It's like, I'm out here on this ridge and I've got this piece of gear and this is going to fail and it's pouring down right. And I'm thinking of like your Red River Gorge video for one.
Yeah.
Like,
Disappointing,
because
right?
I've done the same. Yeah, because I've done the same thing, man.
We all have.
Yeah, and it's very relatable. It's like that same thing has happened to me. So
Right. You
yeah.
can't just film a trip and just sunshine and rainbows the whole time. You know what I mean? There's got to be there's usually some conflict in every trip that I go on, and it makes for a good story too. You can't deny that.
Yeah,
When I was lost, sorry, go ahead.
I have a lot of people ask me, they're like, okay, how do you film yourself hiking and camping? How do you make that interesting? And I'm like, well, sometimes it's tough.
Right.
If it's a perfectly great trip, it's not really that interesting because it's like,
right.
okay, everything's going perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Usually my best videos are when I get a surprise thunderstorm or some crazy thing like getting my car stuck in the mud or something stupid.
Where were you? This was maybe 2 years ago. It might have been Red River Gorge, but you got surprised by some kind of thunderstorm. You set up your tarp, got in your hammock, and you stayed there for literally 14 hours or so. I remember this. What was that video?
That was Red River Gorge.
What was it? Okay, yeah. That was, and I enjoyed it because it was real. Like you just said, it was something that happened and you didn't try to blow it off. You could tell you were getting a little frustrated at the end because it would not stop raining on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
And I was mad because I'm trying to make this interesting video and I can't
stuck in your hammock.
film anything. So it's like, okay, there's the thunder and lightning again. Okay, it can stop now. Yeah.
But like I said, it's not just sunshine and rainbows the whole time you go out there.
And but I never want anything bad to happen.
No.
But I don't want to ever come across as I'm faking it. It's like, okay, I'm not making that drama for
right.
Which
exactly.
I've seen in some videos. It's like, man, okay, you tagged me with the thumbnail and the head and the title, and then I watched the video and I'm like, okay, there was absolutely no reason for you to put that in there. And that goes for not just hiking. That's any kind of video. I mean, I've watched all different topics, like, man, and it's just total bait and switch. Like, why did I watch that? I spent 45 minutes looking for something awesome and I got totally duped.
Right?
Yeah.
You start searching for some kind of trip that you want to do whenever you have some time off and you end up watching a Super Mario Brothers playthrough for the next 8 hours. That's what I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, no, it's me too. And my kids, my kids tell me, well, Dad, you'd have 50 million subs if you were a gaming channel. And I'm like, well, but I can't play games.
Literally no effort in that either.
Exactly.
Right.
All they do in those gaming videos is scream and yell for an hour.
Yeah. Well, my stepson is all about watching people play. I was like, well, you want to come down and watch me play The Witcher? That's my favorite game right now still.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, several years. And, he'll just sit there in awe at, The Witcher. And I'm like, why don't you want to play? We could put a game on. We fired up the Nintendo 64 the other day for him.
Oh, nice.
He got lost in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh, nice.
That was awesome for me as a parent now. So.
Yeah, that's a funny thing, man. It's like, okay, when I was a kid, I played video games, and now all kids want to do is watch somebody else play video games.
Right. What?
Are you really enjoying this?
Kids these days.
it's a different world, man. I'll tell you.
It really is, man. It really is.
But it's amazing how big YouTube is in my children's life. You know, I watch a lot of YouTube, but you know that's pretty much all my kids watch. They don't watch TV anymore. They just
Yeah.
watch YouTube,
Mhm.
and they follow. My one son, I logged in as him one time to see what he was looking at, and he must have subbed every video he watched. So he literally was subscribed to like 10,000 different channels.
Wow.
I'm like, what in the heck are you looking at? It's
Yeah.
just all these gaming channels. But he's like, Dad, don't mess with my account. Okay.
I wonder if what is that? Copa, however you say that. I wonder if that's putting any of them out of business, because I know that they're not making a lot of revenue on them anymore. Or
Yeah,
they weren't. Or maybe
I
they
don't
fixed the
know.
algorithm.
Yeah,
But
maybe they did. Yeah, I just know that the video creation process is a lot more complex now. You have to go through all these steps, and you know this is not for kids. And I don't have this stuff in my videos.
yeah, there's
Man, it's crazy.
there's literally like what 16 questions for everybody now when they upload a video. Is does this happen? Does this happen? Is this in there? And you're like, no. All right, okay, you can monetize.
Yeah, yeah. And I've always tried to make my videos family friendly. It's pretty
PG.
much really, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I try to do.
You know, it's like okay. There's been times where I've cussed, and I bleep it out, cut it out. I think I have maybe 2 videos on my channel where I just didn't feel like censoring it because I was with a couple buddies who curse like sailors.
Yeah,
So
sailors, right? Yeah.
it's like okay, I'm just not going to try to monetize this video, and I'm going to say, hey, don't watch this, kids.
Right.
Those are funny. Those are some funny trips too.
Yeah. Yeah, group trips are always fun.
Uh-huh.
For sure. How's your what is it called? Mondays are terrible. Mondays suck. What is it?
I don't like Mondays. Yes.
I don't like Mondays. I'm gonna have to try it. I like the name.
Yeah, it's let's see. It's Orange Cat Brewery.
Huh.
Fat Orange Cat Brewery.
Fat Orange.
And
Wow.
they are I don't know where they're located out of. Connecticut or something. I don't know. I just saw the can yesterday and I was like, okay, I want that beer.
Do you buy beer based on labels too, like I do?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I do too. Okay.
Just the artwork. I'm like,
right.
I love the artwork. I gotta have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bought one. It was called Brony, just because it had like My Little Ponies on it, like, but it was called Brony, and I was like, I gotta have that can. And the guy at the cash register was like, "Really, you're buying this beer?" Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
don't judge me. Yeah, it's pretty good beer though. I enjoy it. So you did a documentary on your AT, which I have not watched the full thing yet. I have to admit to you that.
It's long. I get it.
Is it an hour and a half?
No, it's like 2:10, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. How long did it take you to put that together?
Honestly, it took me 3 months of solid work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The issue being is, and I won't do this for the next time. This is something pro tip for those who want to do this. So what I did, right? I had the video edited while on the trail, so I had that footage, but I only had the final version. I didn't have like the clips. So in some of these clips I was using in the documentary or Journey of the Soul was had music on it. And so I was trying to figure out how to make this all work while still hiding the fact that the music couldn't be taken out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
From an editing standpoint, it was an editing nightmare. Fading stuff here and overdubbing here. But that was probably the video I've never spent more time on a video in my entire life.
What do you use to edit? What software?
Adobe Premiere.
Okay.
CC.
Yeah. That's what I use. Yeah. Yeah. I love Premiere. I really do. But it can be a pain in the bronx.
It's not the easiest software to do. There's a steep learning curve, and especially when you take it to the next level. I'm starting to color grade now, and there's just so much stuff you can do with it.
And it's like it's kind of like Photoshop. There's a million different ways to do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So like you're like, oh, I can do it this way or I could do it that way, and they just kind of have to. I have all these Post-it notes that I keep on my monitors. Like, okay, remember to do this to cut a clip. Do this. And in my last video I put out on Lake Vesuvius, it's like I was trying all these different experimentation stuff, like all these different tricks I was trying to pull out. It's kind of fun. but man, you end up spending 8-10 hours on a 30-minute video.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so time consuming. And my wife, she'll get on me. She's like, "Why are you spending so much time on it?" I'm like, "Because I want it to, it's a reflection of me. I want
Yeah.
this video to look good."
It's like work, you don't want to just produce crap. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. But she doesn't really see it because she doesn't see the financial payoff from it. So
I hear you.
maybe if you were making more money off YouTube. Well, I'm
Yeah, but to
trying.
get there,
Yeah,
that's the thing. To get there, you got to put in the time.
yeah,
My end game is to be able to, keep making. Man, it's not a lot. You know what it is. It's not very much for the time that we actually put in. It's not even minimum wage at that point. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
But my end game is to be able to retire and kind of hike some trails and have the YouTube kind of pay for the trails.
Oh yeah,
That's the ultimate thing for me.
yeah.
Whether I'm going to get there, who knows? But I'm sure as heck going to try.
So, do you have any more through hikes planned?
Through hikes, I'm still pushing for the PCT in 5 years. I started that savings account. It's going to take me a lot longer. We're moving into a little bit bigger of a house at this point because I'm crammed in. This house was great when it was just me, but now I got Chrissy and the 2 kids and maybe a third one expecting at some point. And we were moving literally like 0.1 miles down the street just to a 4-bedroom, with a little bit more room for living area.
Nice.
So the fund is started, but it's going to take me longer to get there. Last time with the AT, it only took me 2 years to be able to, leave a job and then, still have some wiggle room to, if I couldn't find something.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest thing about doing a
Scary.
through hike.
It's scary.
Scary. Yeah, the logistics of it, like how am I going to support my family? How am I going to keep my job? I've been watching a lot of other people who do it, and it's like, well, I just up and quit my job and I did it and I sold all my stuff, and I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. And not at this stage in my life. If I look back, it's like I wish I would have done this when I was 22 or whatever, 20s. That didn't happen. So I still want it to happen, and I know it can happen, but I got a whole different mindset of how I'm going to do it.
No, I hear you. Being a family man, no, I totally get it. I understand everything what you're saying. It's the scariest part about a through hike is making the commitment to just do it. And that's the hardest part. Once you're past that hurdle, the through hiking part is easy. All you got to do is walk forward the whole way.
Yeah.
Stop in the town when you run out of food. But it's hard to get there, man. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
well, I hope you do, man. I'd love to see you out on the trail. That'd be awesome. Man.
Yeah. It's like you said, I know I can do it. I don't doubt my body can do it, but it's just how much of it is mental. I love backpacking and and camping and hiking. I love all of it. And I don't want it to become to this thing where it's like a job, kind of like how we were talking about YouTube. It's like, I'm scared I'm going to wake up in the middle of the AT and be like, I hate hiking. I don't ever want to be on a trail ever again. You know what I mean? So that's a fear that I have. Like,
I was there. I was what you just said around the end of Maine. And then we hit the 100-mile wilderness and it kind of went away, but I totally get it. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. It's like, okay, so you're in the IT field, right? You do that every day over and over and over and over and over again for months, right? It gets boring. You get complacent, you get bored, right? You need something to change. You do hiking every day over and over and over again. It's the same kind of thing. It becomes that job. The only difference is you don't know where you're going to end up every day. That's the way I looked at it. Okay, where am I going to go today? I have no clue. But where am I going to go tomorrow while I'm here, like in this house? I'm going to go back to work.
Right.
That's what I have to look forward to, and I'm not looking forward to it necessarily.
Right.
So you will get there, but yeah, it didn't happen to me for a long time, almost 2,000 miles in. That's when it finally hit me.
Well, that's good to know. That you always, it's like I have that. I have these goals. Yeah. Did you have to set kind of like goals, like, okay, I'm going to get to X point, and then and reevaluate and just keep progressing from there, or was it just push on and take a zero when I need to. How many zeros did you take?
I don't know. I have it written down somewhere in an Excel sheet somewhere. But so that was the thing. Like when I started the trail, I'm like, okay, it's hiking time. It's, just hike the whole day. Don't go into town. Don't talk to anyone. Stay alone. And then I realized, man, I'm missing half of the thing that everybody talks about the AT. The AT is the community. It's the hiking trail. It's the trail towns. It's the New York deli. It's all these wonderful places. And so I started to get a little bit open to the ideas of going in and meeting friends. And that's
Yeah.
when it really hit me like, this is freedom. This is the greatest thing ever. I can do whatever I want, I can't kill anybody, obviously, but it was fun. It was really, really cool.
Well, like you said, the AT it's not just a thing. It's a lifestyle, like a community. I really felt that last year when I did Grayson Highlands. I did Damascus.
Oh, yeah,
I did
great
trail
place.
days and did all that, and met some of the thru hikers, and I hung out with a bunch of Jason Helmendaler, and we did
Yeah.
and Jeremiah Stringer, and we did several miles along
I
the
love
AT.
him, by the way. Jeremiah Stringer. I just got to
he's
know him
awesome.
about 2 months ago. I didn't know about him until I came back. But yeah, he's great
hilarious.
Dude. Yeah.
Hilarious guy. But I've hiked with him a lot.
Yeah.
And we did that. We hiked along the AT, and we hiked and we stayed. We'd actually stay in the shelters because we left the thru hikers to have the shelters. But we hung out
I
with them.
appreciate that, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. And I was like, that's the least we can do. But, just hanging out with them and hearing their stories and stuff. And then one guy came up, like this old guy. He was thru hiking. He's like, man, you want some weed? And I'm just like, no, it's okay. I'm all right. And it was a totally different mentality. Like they were just, but they all had a collective goal, was to complete the trail. And they all had similar, they were all talking about their stories about, well, we hit this rain today, or, whatever. It was just so cool. And I was like, and I'm an introvert, you're talking about being an introvert. I'm an introvert. So I don't necessarily want to, especially at this age, like I'm not going out there to make a bunch of friends or whatever, but I
didn't think that either,
but I want to hear the stories and I want to talk to people. And it's fascinating to me. And to meet some guy who's 85 years old with a big, long white beard and be like, yeah, I
remember his trail name.
Oh, huh? Oh, I don't even remember. No, I don't.
Okay.
Remember. But I was just amazed. I was like, oh my God.
If it was Perk.
Maybe. But I was like, man, if this guy can do it, I can do this.
Yeah. Anybody can do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I guess all the through, the long trails have their own type of community like that. The PCT is probably a different kind of group. I don't know. But I'd love to experience all that. So I'd love to do the PCT as well.
I hope you get it. I really do. That'd be awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Well, we've been going almost an hour, so I guess
that went by fast, man. Jeez.
It did, yeah.
It really did, yeah.
So, man, I really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime, man. I'm always down to talk about backpacking. You know me.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I appreciate it a lot. So we definitely need to get on and do a hike together one of these days.
Yeah, I'm down. I think we were talking about that like 3 years ago when we first did you were at the raccoon meetup that I did?
No, I didn't go to that one.
Okay, it was the Mohican one.
Mohican. I think it was the first Mohican one, yeah. Or the second. I don't know. I've lost track.
It was one of them, yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely get out, man.
Yeah, man. All right, cool. Well, I hope I can get up your way because you're not that far from me. So.
No.
Yeah.
No, right down the road.
All right, brother. Well, take care.
All right, man.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks again. Have a good night.
See ya.